What up, though? It's your boy Lo Gross, also known as Big Papa Skeet, and we are back with another edition of the Corporate Chronicles. So, been getting a lot of compliments on my work ethic and you know, my business acumen and all that, how I hustle and all that. So I wanted to bring the queen, Momma LO, so we can talk about where it originated from.
What up? How's everybody? Hi, Audibles.
Thanks, Mom, for joining us. This is new, so we doing YouTube stuff now. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
But this is in conjunction with California Wine Club. This is brought to you by California Wine Club as well as Adidas. So click the link in the description, the links in the description, and you can sign up with California Wine Club. You can use our promo code MyClub, and then also click the link for Adidas, and then be able to get discounts for up to 50% off. All right. So, want to start off first, Ma? How are you?
I am fine. How are you?
Doing all right. We sipping on this cab from California Wine Club. This is what's this one called? This is Castoro Cellars. It's a state grown, and it's a Cabernet Sauvignon by Paso Robles.
All right. I'm always down for a spicy red.
Glad to have you here.
Cheers.
Spicy red is your thing?
Mmm.
All right. We about to get the flow going now. You like it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit. First off, how's retirement going? How's retirement been for you?
Retirement lasted all but a half a second.
Yeah.
And now I'm counting other people's money.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to have full retirement, but I'm still doing things that a retirement person would do.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And so you retired after what, 40 years of working at AAA?
Absolutely.
Right. And so do you think that going back to work, so you were, just for the viewers out there, my mom worked for AAA Automotive for 40 years.
In Michigan.
40 years, retired, and you was only retired for 3 months before you went back to work.
Correct.
So would you, is it
not even a full 3 months?
Was it more so that you just couldn't sit still, or like the work ethic just was calling you, like, or like how was that? Cause
I think all of that. I think all of that combined together. I wasn't ready to retire. I wanted to test to see. After 40 years, you need to know if you can work someplace else with that skill set.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I had all of this energy in me, and it was like, what should I do? You know, can I get a job after 40 years someplace else?
Yeah,
So
I got you.
that's what I did.
So a lot of my work ethic came from you. A lot of stuff that you kind of like instilled in me growing up. But you got it from my grandfather, your dad,
Yes.
Skeet Gross II. So tell a little bit just about like what you saw from him and what you learned and how that like impacted you as you joined the workforce.
My father got up every single morning before the sun was coming up out of the sky, going to work to provide for me and my brothers and my sister and my mom. And he did it. He was like, you know, be on time. Mm-hmm. That was a strong ethic of his, and I just always feel that way. Be on time. You know, if you're late, you might miss something. And then he was very, very oriented about his job, and that, hey, he took it very serious. Mm-hmm. That was nothing to play with, and he didn't waste his time. I don't waste my time.
Yeah, it's about efficiency,
Yeah.
being effective and efficient, I feel like.
But he was, you know, and he didn't beat us over the head about it. Mm-hmm. He showed us how it's done.
Gotcha. Like led by example type of thing.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And I tried to show you.
No, you did. You did. And I wanted to ask you this. So, one, you showing me this, like showing me the work ethic, helped put me at an advantage, I feel like. Why do you think this current generation is devoid of like kind of that work ethic?
Because, you know, everything now is about immediate gratification. They don't know to build up to prepare for what they want in the future, because there is life after now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them just, you know, they don't have their parents to give it to them.
Right.
You know, and Google and all of the social media platforms, they don't provide that.
Well, so the rebuttal to that is, well, our parents didn't know. They went to work and worked themselves into the ground for a company that didn't care about them. Because, like, you worked for AAA for 40 years. It's very rare that, like, people get to stay with a company that long. Our generation barely can stay with a company for 3 to 4 years, I think is what they said. So I think it ain't even so much about the parents. It's just like, oh, well, it must be better than me. Because I ain't about to do that. Like, I don't have 40 years to give to a company. I mean, most of the kids, they just tell you, like, you know, better y'all than me because I ain't about to do that. So what do you have to say to that as far as like with the shift in the companies and all of that too?
Well, all of the companies that are out there right now, their ethic in terms of what they're going to be doing is changing. So new companies are going to be coming out, and you guys are going to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
And bringing them up under that umbrella and trying to hopefully make them entrepreneurs and
Well, so I'm
a really good blend of workforce.
well, that's what I'm saying. So I get that from you because it was learning the business side of it to make it work for you. And I think that's what our era is doing. We're learning these things and how to run our own businesses and then using it for our own. It's just
And I kind of
use it
wish
for
we
9 to
had
5.
that too. Just a tad bit. I mean, we got some important skill sets out of our upbringing, but I mean, the future is so advanced now.
Yeah.
And trying to keep up with that technology.
Yeah.
So we have our forefathers in the background, and then we have you in the future.
Yeah. Well, so I wanted to ask you this because I feel like I worked so hard. One, because like you instilled it in me, but the other thing is I watched you make a lot of sacrifices to put me in position. So like talk to me a little bit as far as like as a single mom, because it'd be different if, you know what I'm saying, you was out here just doing your thing, but you always had to make sure that you were in a position to provide and take care of me. So what was it like working as a single mom? Because like you worked a lot of, like you had your main job, but you still had jobs on the side. So how many jobs did you work?
I got about probably a couple of other temporary jobs, sometimes 2 at a time.
That's what I'm saying.
And then, you know, if that one didn't work, I dump that one and get another one. I've been in the retail industry. I've also been in where I don't know what they would call it, where we were keeping up with the magazine
I remember that. Yep.
And just any little thing that would help add so that all of the things that you needed
Yep.
were provided for. Being a single mom is not an impossible task. It's just, are you up for the task?
Gotcha.
You know, and you have to want to have something in your child or children that you didn't have for yourself.
Gotcha.
And teach them they owe you nothing.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I get that, but it's
I wanted to keep a roof over your head,
Yep.
food in your belly. Those are the things that are norm. But along with that, you still have to give schooling, homeschooling
yeah.
for the streets.
So, because I was gonna say, you taught me a lot about the business side of things, but you also taught me like a lot of my street smarts comes from you as well too. That's why I feel like I'm so savvy, and that's why I do it on both sides, because it's like I want to show that you can come from where we come from and still have all of these skill sets.
That was how I felt about you, that just because we lived in the city, we were urban, that hey, you can still be successful.
Yeah.
You can still pave the way and be off the charts of who you are and what you want to be. That there was nothing that you couldn't have.
Yeah. So, and you gave me the tools to go out and get it in whatever arena. I always joke, like, if I got on a suit or an Adidas tracksuit, either way I'm handling business. So it's a tuxedo or a tracksuit, whatever.
Right.
I wanted to talk a little bit, too, about what was important from your work experience that you passed down to me as far as corporate America concerned. Because we did the podcast, and we talked a little bit about, like, code switching and everything. That's a big thing amongst my generation, where it's like we feel like we shouldn't have to. Early on I did, but I feel like now, the past 5 years of my career, I've been able to kind of merge my work side and my street side, if you will, together to just be me. But like, how do you feel about that as far as like how your generation came up and how you see it now, and being black in corporate America?
In corporate America, affirmative action is what we have. Today is called inclusive and diversity.
Yep.
Which is still, to me, it's just a better way for them to keep us down.
Right.
But one of the things that I've learned in my 40 years of being in corporate is I got the same opportunities that everybody else up in there.
Yeah.
From the CEO down to the janitor, we're all there for one thing, to make money, to take care of our family. Okay. Nobody in there is better than anybody. Those are just titles.
Right.
So you can walk around and let your title define who you are, or you allow yourself to be defined.
Gotcha.
But the other thing was be on time for work, absorb as much, because if you sit in the right seat, you're going to learn everything you need to know.
For sure.
About who and what and where and how. And then the other thing is that, and we weren't really taught it, it comes as you go, learn what benefits you need for yourself as well as for your family. Your medical, your life insurance, how to save, know about wealth. They don't really offer a lot of 401ks now. There's a lot of RAs.
You get the Roth on your own.
RAs out there, but there are benefits. And then if you get a job that doesn't have a benefit, how do I participate and decide what I want for myself and pay for it out of what you're making?
Yeah. Yeah, because for me, it was always about, what money is being put up for the future, because that'll help take some of the stress about providing for your kids in the long run. If I could go without right now in the short term, cool, but I know in the long run, everything will kind of work itself out. But to your point, our generation is like it's delayed gratification. We want the money right away, right now, so we're not willing to look at it like that.
And we wanted it right now too, but we still had to work our way up because, they gave you money in rations.
Yeah.
And, I didn't think that I would stay somewhere for 40 years, but in that I would have a skill set and a knowledge base of what I have now, and that people were looking at you as to what you were doing.
Right. Because you made a lot of connections just even within the company to where what I call cross-departmental synergy, right? And I say that because it helps get things done because, certain departments operate in silos, but when you're cool with everybody...
They call me the mayor.
I believe that.
They used to call me the mayor because everybody would speak to me. I would speak to them. I knew everybody's name. They would come to me. What's that person's name? And that's a skill that I don't know where I got that from, but I do believe that in knowing someone's name and addressing them, that means something.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the last thing that I want to mention is that everyone in management is not qualified for that role.
Okay. Interesting.
You either are born a leader and you really know what to do with it. Some study to be it, but I think being an effective leader or in the management team is within you.
Yeah.
And you're fair. All management should be fair. A lot of management, I'm on the management team, I'm never going to cross you, I'm never going to say that you're wrong and not investigate the situation.
Gotcha.
But, everybody's not cut to be in leadership.
Oh, yeah. Well, and trust me, I know. So let me ask you, I want to pivot a little bit.
Okay.
We California Wine Club, say we got this Cabernet Sauvignon here, you know what I'm saying? Trying to tell you, y'all sign up.
That is divine.
So I wanted to ask you because you got me started with wine, in my earlier corporate days. Okay, look, you're in a different setting now. You need to get hip to your wines. You can't be ordering Hennessy, you know what I'm saying? And none of the stuff you would order in the club when you go in some of these business functions. So talk a little bit about some of your favorite wines, and because I know you was big on the Rieslings and the Merlots.
I was. Riesling was always when you wanted that sweet taste. And then I would say that your...
What about Zinfandel? Because we had the white Zinfandel.
I forgot about Zinfandel. Yeah. That was the start of it all.
Yep.
And Zinfandel had a little sweetness. You could get some dry Rieslings. But now, I believe that the red blends are very, very good. They're good for your blood. They have a lot of health benefits for you.
Yep.
And, I think drinking all of your sweeter wines, that's just that's just to give you that little taste and that little hit. But as you get older, you still want to drink responsibly in terms of for your health reasons.
For sure.
And it's also a good cooking wine.
Gotcha.
You make your sauces with it. But this blend is amazing.
So, do you find yourself now liking more red now and more red blend? Is that because of me?
Yes.
I put you on it? Yeah.
You put me on.
Well, like you said, it's the health stuff.
I wasn't big with red.
You wasn't?
No.
Well, for me, I had to learn because, like you said, the earlier stuff, the white Zinfandels, the Merlots, the Rieslings, it was more sweet. Now, I know I'm not a Moscato drinker, and then I knew some of the Pinot Noirs would be a little bit too dry for me. But when I found Malbec and kind of in that middle range, that's where it works for me. So.
And going to wine tastings when they're available, you should go.
Oh, yeah.
Because that also teaches you how to really appreciate the different blends of wines. Some wines you can mix, some you can't.
Right.
So
How to pair them with certain meals and all
Right,
that. So
yeah.
that's what we build in here. Like we working on it because like you exposed me to it, and I'm not the expert by no means. I just like it, and so it's like as I learn, I wanna
because
share
people
with y'all.
serve more wine and functions than hard.
For sure.
Okay.
And I want my liver to be okay. Like this is a glass
I
of
want
wine
mine
on the
to be
weekends
okay,
is cool.
too.
Yeah. So I did want to ask because I bring the wine thing up, and a lot of people don't know this. They don't know a lot just like about how you raised me up, but I'm cultured because you used to have us volunteer at the Detroit Institute of the Arts every year,
Yes.
every summer and every winter, because we did the Festival of the Arts in the summertime,
Yes.
and then we did the Noel night like around Christmas time. Talk a little bit about that and kind of your appreciation for the arts, because a lot of like my influence with music and those types of, it comes from
That
you.
was one of the events early on in my career at AAA for volunteering that we had, and it afforded me to do it and also bring you along. So you got to see what it was to volunteer and be a part of a community effort.
Yeah.
And we did it, I think you were in the stroller when I started, and you ended up being close to almost starting high school before we stopped.
Yeah.
But we would do it every year, and
I was
it
still
just,
making Noel night, but summertime I was busy. I had stuff to do.
but it helped you to, have that volunteering spirit.
Yeah.
And then we would do the Noel night because that was like right before Christmas, and they had the carriage rides. We would have the hot cocoa,
Yep.
and we still. I mean, it was just fun. Everything we did was fun. It was not boring. It wasn't anything that you was like, Mom, I don't want to go.
Well, no.
You wanted to go.
So Mom would put me in the. She would always sign us up for the information booth. So you in the center of everything. You in the heart of everything. You feel the flow. We there first thing in the morning and stay until it's almost
Because
over.
we gave
right?
out the assignments.
Yep. So it was cool.
It was cool.
But I appreciate you
And
for
that
that.
prepared you for learning how to designate.
Oh yeah. Leadership.
Correct.
So the last thing I want to ask you, right? Because you've been down here for my birthday. We've been kicking it. You've been able to spend time with your grandbaby, man. Shout out to London.
London.
One of the things that Neezy and I are working on is as far as like picking the right school system and really setting our life up to be able to put London in position. So as a mom who like worked and sacrificed to put her son in position, what are some things, as far as looking for a school system or picking the right educational structure to raise the baby in? What advice would you give for us?
You want to look for diversity in the school.
Okay.
You want to also pay attention to the instructors or the teachers to make sure that they're qualified to give your child what you would give your child if she wasn't available.
Gotcha.
Because
It's like a reinforcement of what
you're going to be giving her, and you want them to be around kids that all have the same mindset. No one's really there to be, because bullying, I didn't really realize that in raising you, that it had such an impact on a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
But even then, for her to learn how to handle it.
Right.
And you want to be with what's going on in the school systems today.
Yep.
You want to be able to put your child and know that she's going to be safe and secure. It's no guarantee, but you can also look for that kind of safety.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you too. Not to take a dark turn to the interview, but like just knowing what's going on with the safety in schools and all of that. How do you feel about like homeschooling the child? Because that's something that we've also considered.
Well, when I'm at home and I'm thinking about all the things that are going on, and I do a lot of FaceTiming with you and Charnay for London, I'm not opposed to homeschooling because I trust. I mean, you both have the same skill set that I have for you, and I think that she's going to be fine because I taught you. You knew a whole lot of stuff before you went to school.
And it's so much stuff that you used to tell me like, all right, look, you know this, but the other kids may not know
I
this.
didn't
So
want
keep
you
it
to dumb me
yourself.
down, though. It wasn't that I wanted you to dumb me down. It was they weren't at the age level of understanding what you knew.
Yeah, true.
And
That's life
even
now. Look at
London
it,
right
35
now,
years
she
later.
understands a lot of stuff. That memory, that mindset of hers is huge. And she doesn't forget anything. So she's capable of the instructions that you and her mom are going to give her.
Gotcha.
And if you do choose to put her in the outside school system, let her know that, hey, if there is nothing that you're going to learn there that you don't already know.
Gotcha.
This is just going to reinforce what we taught you.
Gotcha. All right, last thing before we go. Finish this wine. Last thing. Talk a lot of bit, the spiritual aspect of things and having a healthy, strong relationship with God. Because I feel like that's the key to everything. Like we've had the opportunity to live an eventful yet a very blessed life. But I feel like we always got to make sure we make time to like give God His due in it.
Well,
so talk a little bit
how
about that.
How that came about is that let's go back to the beginning when you asked about being a single mom. There are a lot of things that I have instilled in you that I didn't know was going to have an impact on you as my son, being the age that you are today.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always wanted for you was to have a strong relationship with God. So as a baby, we said our prayers every night. I let you do it because I realized that a man is responsible for the spirituality of his family. And then as you started growing, I wanted you to become very detailed and to develop your own relationship with God and to use God's name, Jehovah.
Yep.
And then as you got older and older and older, I told you start praying for people, start praying for things, make it real to you in your life. I didn't know that I was teaching you something valuable. I just knew it was something to teach you.
Yeah. You felt it was important.
It was very important
like
because, look, through all the things that we were going through, He carried us through.
Yeah, still is.
He carries us through, and I just was like, Lord, let's say our prayers, and we prayed over our food every meal that we had. And if I wasn't around and you were at your grandparents, they prayed over the food. So you had an example all the way through your life of what it was like to develop a spirituality side of yourself.
Yeah. And even to, like you said, I promise we go close through, but like you said about just believing and stuff and being detailed. I joke now because like we were able to get the partnership with Adidas, but like how long had that been? You know, as my mom since a kid.
I know.
So that just shows you God answers prayers. He might not answer it when you think that you're ready for it, but you just got to do the work and work towards it in accordance with your faith, and you're going to get it. So, you know.
Well, this time down here, this has been an amazing visit for me.
I'm glad.
To see you in the dynamic of my daughter, to see you in the dynamic of your family, to see that London appreciates her granny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, and I've had an amazing time.
I'm glad. Appreciate you, Mama. All right. It's been another episode of the Corporate Chronicles, man. Brought to you by Inaudible Ruckus. Make sure y'all subscribe everywhere. YouTube, of course, but everywhere where podcast is available. Momma LO did the episode 363 with us, man. She dropped even more jewels, her and Charnay. So just look forward to more content. We appreciate y'all. It's Inaudible Ruckus. What the